And Coach, we can take it away with an opening statement.
First of all, and I'll say what every coach says after a victory is I'm really proud
President
of our
Trump
guy.
appointee wrote, charges require specific allegations.
Not sure why there's a TV broadcast going on.
President also said he'll travel to Georgia, rallying voters to back Republicans in two.
Whoever's on, please mute there. Go ahead, Coach. I think we're good.
So for us, we wanted to put a complete game together. Still didn't play our best. There's still much more that we can improve on, but we needed to win a tight game.
The president-elect tweeted an
We needed to win a
acknowledgement to
physical
America's.
We needed to win a game where it was contested late, because that's where you learn how to win. Winning games, and I used to talk to guys. I say, okay, stand up and demonstrate winning a football game, right? And this doesn't make sense. Winning a football game is play after play, punch, counter punch, striving to be better, getting your mistakes corrected, making the plays that are there for you to make, and staying in it, and trusting yourself and trusting your teammates. And that's what happened down the stretch there. Our guys stayed tight. They held on. We blocked a field goal early on. Really could have blocked another PAT. Was right there to block it. Didn't get it. So we knew we had an opportunity, and our guys were juiced up. You heard the guys on the sideline saying, "Hey, we can block it. Go block it. Go block it. We're going to block this." And that's huge. Second half for us, we sputtered in the running game in the first half, partially because of Cal. I think they outplayed us up front. Second half, our guys just screwed in, got the cleats in the ground. Coach Carberry, Morgan Turner in particular, did a great job getting those guys ready, coaching them up, and getting their confidence back, that we can run the ball on these guys. So we were able to come back in the second half and really give Austin Jones a chance. We saw what he could do against Oregon, and 2 weeks ago against Colorado, never really got him going. And then once we get number 20 running, you see what kind of back he can be. I don't know how many yards after contact he had today, but that was phenomenal. Just keep driving his legs and pumping his legs. We made some plays in the passing game. Still some more we should have made and could have made. But at the same time, we like to lean on that running game, lean on the offensive line, lean on our backs, and our quarterback made some plays also. So good team victory. Really excited for the Axe to come back to Stanford, California.
We'll go ahead and start with Janie McCauley. Go ahead and lead us off with your question.
Hi, David. You guys talked after the Colorado game so much about wanting to come out in the third quarter, stronger in the third quarter, and also with special teams. That seemed to be a focus from you and hearing from your players, and the energy coming out of halftime. What did you think of that? And even when they answered, you guys came back down and took advantage again. And also just the play of special teams. That was a focus, and it looked great.
Yeah, just some growth. We've got great senior leadership, but we're still a pretty young team, and it was great to see us grow. And we've had these lulls in the third quarter, and then pick it up in the fourth quarter. And we got I don't know, it's 3 and out or whatever after halftime. They drove down and scored, but our guys fought right back, and that was great to see these guys bounce right back, just like you said, knock it down, and get some fire going in their bellies to go out in there and execute. And kept saying on the sidelines, "Hey, we're not going to ask you guys to do anything that we haven't practiced over and over and over again." So they trusted their technique, they trusted themselves, and trusted each other. We went out there and played a much better second half, really, than we have all year.
Next question in the queue comes from Rusty Simmons. Go ahead, Rusty.
Coach, I was going to ask about how your team took advantage of mistakes. There was the muff punt, the fumble, the defensive holding on the possible interception. What did you think of the way you guys responded in those situations?
Yeah, we want to be a great football team, and we're getting close to good. We're not where we want to be anywhere, but great football teams take advantage of what happens, right? They give you an opportunity to get on the ball, you got to get on it. If you get a chance to, and we had a great punch to knock a ball out by Salim, knock the ball out again, and those are things that you work on the defensive side. But you also work, and you see our growth. Early in the year, we had a punt that was muffed, and we ran by it, and they fell on it. So this year, we worked on it so often. Hey, crowd around them. If the ball gets on the ground, let's jump on it. And you saw guys rally into it. So, week by week, game by game, we're getting better. And hopefully we can really start to hit our stride in the coming weeks.
You already mentioned Austin Jones there, especially in the second half. He and the offensive line. What got that group going?
It's hard to say, but that group, Drew Dahlman leads that group, and he was fired up all day today. Bay Area kid. He's been a Stanford man his entire life. I played with his dad, and he took a lot of pride in getting these guys fired up. And he's one of those voices you can hear on the sidelines and saying, "Hey guys, we got to go. We got to close our windows. We got to not allow penetration. We got to get our double teams going." And you just heard him talking the whole game. And those young guys, they follow him. And our tight ends did a great job. Our fullbacks did a great job, because we know the backs that we have. If we can get these guys going, Nate had a couple of great runs too. We get these guys to and through the line of scrimmage, we can cause some damage.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Troy Clarity. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, Coach, two things for you here. First, noticed Ethan Bonner did not play. Was in a street clothes on the sidelines of the period. But Salim Turner Muhammad gets the start in this spot. Take us through your initial impressions of Turner Muhammad's day and what's Bonner's status.
Well, Ethan had kind of a late week injury. We didn't think it was going to be that bad. He didn't think it was that bad. Kind of flared up on him a little bit. He tried to make it through the warmups and just couldn't make it through the warmups. Was able to practice the other day. Was able to do a run through yesterday, and it just blew up on him. He couldn't get going. So I don't think it'll be a long-term deal for him. Salim has really come to play. Starting game one, he came out and made some nice plays. Game one, game two, really got to start and played really well. Made two for a guy who's not the biggest guy out there. They took their deep shots on him. And he knows how to get right next to that receiver, get his hands up through where the ball's coming through. Made some nice plays there, and then the turnover is exactly the way you work the drill. Guys get on the ball carrier, the next guy comes in and punches it out. Very, very heady football player. Still has a lot to learn. Still is growing and maturing. But he's got a chance to be a good one.
Second thing, you guys won the toss, deferred to the second half. That's the first time I've seen that watching Stanford football since I don't know when. And it seemed to work out a little bit as Stanford was able to get the second half kick with the tie game. Take me through that. Why defer this time around as opposed to maybe not for the last few years or so, it seems.
First time since I've been the head coach. We deferred. And we had talked about it last week against Washington State, potentially doing it last week. This week. We've been one of the better kickoff return teams over the last decade in America, honestly. And we knew their kickoff return team was dangerous. So we wanted our kickoff cover against their kickoff return to start the game off. Try to get our defense on the field right off the bat, and then come back and start with the ball in the second half. Just to change up, we'll see what we do going forward. But that's what we talked about doing, and I was excited to do it today.
Let's go next to RJ Abadia. Go ahead, RJ.
Coach, can you talk about not just the game Michael Wilson had in terms of stats, but just the way he played out there? There weren't a lot of gimme catches for him, it looked like, over the course of the day.
Yeah, Mike Wilson, he's just one of those fighters. He's one of those guys, I coached for Ray Rhodes, and Ray used to always talk about, pick those guys that you want in a foxhole with you. And Mike is one of those foxhole guys. When it gets tough, when it gets tight, he's one of those guys that you want on your side, because he did a great job blocking today too, scrapping and pushing. Good job making decisions on the punt return. Big time release and catch for the touchdown in the first half. And then some really key third down conversions that were big, with guys on his back, guys right in his face. He's one of those guys that really contributed to this win.
And then just your thoughts on two other young guys on offense. Nathaniel Pete and Miles Hinton continue to show an awful lot of good things in their cameo appearances so far.
Yeah, Nathaniel Pete, we believe Nathaniel's got the ability to be a starter. We're going to continue to roll him through. He does a great job of keeping Austin fresh. But Nathaniel, we saw against Oregon, and we've seen a couple times now, if he gets a crease, he's got the juice to go. And we thought he was about to step out of one of those tackles and make a big play. We'll continue to work him in there. Miles Hinton got a lot of work today. Miles is one of those guys that he's really young, even for his age. Got a little banged up early in training camp, so it took a little while to get him going. We think he's got an extremely high ceiling, and wait till this young man gets in the weight room for another year. Wait till this offseason. He's got a chance to be special. So we'll continue to put those guys out there, give those guys opportunity. EJ Smith got a chance to get out there, get his hands on the ball a couple times. We'll continue to work our young guys in. John Humphreys got his first college catch today, which is great. We think we have a lot of really great young players that we're going to continue to build with.
Thank you.
We're going to finish off with a couple more questions here. Let's go to Jacob Rayburn.
Hey, Coach. Special teams has obviously been a big topic already, but could you kind of talk us through the impact of Coach Alomar getting to work with, I think, more guys that he can use this year, whereas last year it was really patched together and it ended up being a season that he was actually really proud of when there were so many freshmen on the field. That's not the case this year. So what have you seen from those guys so far?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's the way our entire staff feels. I mean, last year was such a crazy year with all the injuries. We didn't have backups anywhere. So like everybody was a starter and his backup was another starter, seemed like. So especially for special teams, and we don't have any sacred cows. So whoever's available, we're going to put the best guys out there. Curtis is probably the one guy that we take care of because he plays so many snaps on the defensive side, because otherwise he'd be a 4-team starter for us. He's such a great special teams player. But everybody else, whoever he wants to use, he gets a chance to use, and that's such a great feeling for him. I also want to say this too. When I hired Coach Alomar, one of the things that was really attractive to me was reorganizing the staff so that he can be a full-time special teams coach and truly work with our punters and kickers and snappers and holders and truly spend a lot of time on the special teams, because it's a third of the game or more. And with the opportunities for changing field position and creating momentum, that's why I'm so glad we have him. So glad so proud of him, the job that he's done. And just like you said, we're healthy enough now to where we can play more guys than we have in the past. And I'll say this too, we still have a couple of freshmen that found their way on special teams. They've done a great job. So to really have a full team, a healthy team, to really go out there and make an impact on the game. And it's three of you said it in your comments. I know our guys have been talking about it. We believe we've got the talent to influence games on special teams. It was great to see it happen today.
Thanks, Coach.
We're going to wrap up with one more question for those that we didn't get to, whether it was a first question or a follow-up. A reminder that Scott Swegan and Tyler Gavett are on site. Let's go to Daniel Martinez-Krams to finish it off, Coach, as we have players waiting.
Hi, Coach. Just want to ask about the emotion of the game. Obviously, Cal comes out with the cards saying our acts. You could see it on the field with the guys after the game. Before the game, in our comments, Foster talked about if you could win one game this year, it's going to be this one. What are you hearing from the guys, and how are they feeling, and how are you feeling?
Well, our operations staff came to scope out the area, and they took a picture of that and said, Coach, do you want to let the guys know that that's there? I said, no, let them see it when they walk in the stadium. I think our guys took a lot of pride in grabbing the axe and taking a picture in front of that our axe sign up there. And just to remind everybody, it is called the Stanford axe. So we're excited to bring that Stanford axe back to Stanford, California.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.